So mine is a simple statement on the issue of termination of 1,375 JSS, which is in bad faith by the TSC. And I think the TSC CEO has overstayed until she has lacked new ideas on how to run Teacher Service Commission. So I'll shoot straight from the hip. Statement on the termination of contracts of intern teachers by Teacher Service Commission. In the past few weeks, intern teachers were out on the streets undertaking their constitutional rights of picketing, demonstrating, and presenting petition as per the Constitution Article 37 to relevant officers concerning their terms of service, especially non-compliance by Teacher Service Commission of a court judgment on petition number E223 of 2023, which ruled that the JSS teachers were unfairly treated and discriminated as they were denied the terms and conditions of service ordinarily enjoyed by trained and certified teachers. And they have, of course, the TSC numbers. It should be noted that the intern teachers were promised permanent and pensionable terms by mid of 2023, which was well indicated in their terms of contract. Thus, it is not renewable. However, TSC went contrary to the initial terms of engagement and renewed the contracts again to 2025, thus contravening Article 41 of the Constitution of Kenya, local and international labor laws across our nation. JSS, or junior secondary schools teachers and inter-teachers, have remained demoralized, unmotivated, frustrated, stressed, and mentally disturbed. And we have cases where some of the JSS, out of frustration, have committed suicide. This is due to blackmail and intimidation meted on them by the school heads, TSC, inspectors, supervisors, county directors, and now Teacher Service Commission headquarters led by the CEO, Nancy Macharia. I know that Nancy Macharia should have retired. She's way above 60 years. I don't know, how will young people get jobs? You know, you can stay in a place until you become senile ideas in running the organization. Well, now they have started issuing termination letters from yesterday, whose only crime is the crying of the poor working conditions, and are being subjected by TSC, agitating for improved terms of service. The strike that JSS went to was a protected strike as provided by the law, Article 41 of the Constitution 2010 and labor laws. So this is a new form of victimization, because in return to work formula under the CBA agreements, under the labor laws, the employees are allowed to do return to work formula without being blackmailed or intimidated. And therefore, issuing termination letters by TSC to JSS teachers is done not only in bad faith, but it is immoral and illegal. With the challenges of infrastructure and lack of facilities, it is a standard practice that the content for junior secondary school teachers, secondary schools, should be taught by the subject specialist. But as it is, the teachers in JSS are forced to teach all the subjects, yet they have been trained to teach only 2 subjects. Yet they are only paid a paltry Kenya shillings 17,000 without any medical cover, no allowance, no pension, and very poor working conditions. Therefore, Teacher Service Commission have turned into hypocrites by terminating contracts for junior secondary schools who ended their strike last week in good faith and were only agitating for improved terms and employment to permanent and pensionable terms that the TSC had promised during the initial engagement. It has to be noted, as the budget is coming up for reading, as a parliament, we have passed the budget to Teacher Service Commission through Ministry of Education to employ over 46,000 teachers who are on junior secondary schools interns to be employed permanent and pensionable, over 46,000. And in fact, as the budget is being read this week, when the confirmation of JSS will be confirmed, over 46,000 of them, will demand an audit. Because the ploy of issuing termination letters by TSC to over 7,357 JSS interns is a way of TSC employing other people outside the original interns. And this is a new form of corruption, that even as TSC confirms on PNP JSS interns, the EACC must be on the lookout. Because why would you fire people who end a strike in good faith? The argument of TSC was lack of budget. We have put the money in budget. So why would you do it in bad faith and terminate letters for over 7,357 interns? And we find this one, this is malice by TSC to try and ensure other people who did not suffer by being JSS. And you find one JSS teacher is teaching over 7 subjects. And you know, in teaching, you must be specialized in some form of a subject. It is very unfair and just and against all human rights to terminate contracts of these young patriots who have served with diligence and pioneered the curriculum-based education curriculum, or CBC, despite the poor working conditions and lack of requisite facilities. We call upon TSC, Teacher Service Commission, to immediately stop the termination of contract exercise and withdraw the letters and recall all the 7,357 dispatch letters already to JSS teachers and immediately embark on the process of employing all the 46,000 intern teachers on permanent and pensionable, since we have provided them with the necessary budgetary allocation for the financial year 2024-2025. And I said most of the JSS students have sent me, have sent me letters showing termination. So we want TSC to be warned. We don't want them, they will be taken to court and they'll be fined. Why are they flouting the law? It is very unfortunate that we can reduce this issue to where letters are being issued for termination. The other day, they had issued show cause letters, and yet the TSS were on protected strike. So what we are just saying in simple, that now that the budget has been allocated, and it was confirmed on the floor of the House last week by the National Assembly, we are going to pass CARA today. The Division of Revenue was passed. The budget is being read this week. So there is enough reserve, sufficient resources. Kitu ambaye tunataka tuseme ni ya kwamba, nikimalizia, tunataka tuulize Teacher Service Commission, zile barua zaidi ya 7,000 ambazo wamefuta kazi wale walimu wa JSS ni kinyume na sheria, imetolewa in bad faith. Tunawauliza watoe hiyo barua haraka, wa withdraw hiyo barua na wa recall. Budget imeweka pesa ya kutosha kuajiri walimu wa JSS 46,000 kwa mwaka wa pesa ambao unakuja wa 2024-2025. Pesa za kutosha. Tunashangaa mbona TSC wanafuta kazi zaidi ya wale walimu wa JSS zaidi ya 7,000, kwa sababu kuna ukora wanataka kufanya. Wameshaona budget tumeweka 47,000, sasa wanataka kuvuta wengine ndio walete watu kupitia nyuma ya mlango. Na hatutakubali kuwa TSC letters huwa watu wanachezea hapa na pale, kwa sababu wanafuta wanafunzi ambao wamekaa zaidi ya mwaka 1-2 wakifunza, wakishika 17,000. Na walikuwa na implement CPC ambayo haikuwa na facilities, haikuwa na infrastructure. Unapata wengine walikuwa wanafunza subjects zaidi ya 7 katika junior secondary schools. So kitu ambayo nataka tuwaambie Teacher Service Commission, waondoe hiyo barua mara moja. Kwa sababu wasipoondoa, nimeweka swali na najua wengine wenu waandishi wa habari maona hiyo swali, tutaita wizara husika na waziri na TSC watuambie ni mbinu gani wanatumia. Na walimu walitoa mgomo wao kwa in good faith. Na unajua kwa return to work formula, ukiambia mtu return to work formula, hauhitaji kuja kuvictimize. So what TSC wanafanya ni kuvictimize hao walimu kwa kurudi darasani. na wakati ya kunyanyasa hao walimu na Wakenya wote kinyume cha sheria imepitwa na wakati. So tunatarajia watoe hizi makaratasi, lakini wiki ijayo kupitia kamati ya elimu katika bunge la seneti tutawaita watuelezeke kinaka ubaka, na nafikiri wale wanasimamia TSC kama CEO amepitisha miaka, nafikiri kuna watu wanadanganya yeye pale kuwa wafuta watoto watu. Ni watoto hata walikuwa wanalipwa 17,000, hawana allowance, hawana pesa ya ile permanent ya pension, hawana ya medical cover. Ni Mungu tu alikuwa anawachunga. Na unajua Mungu pia inafika mahali hata naye anachoka. Sasa hawa wanachokesha Mungu. Sasa imefika wakati tumeweka pesa waingie katika ile permanent and pensionable. So ndugu zangu, ningependa kumalizia hapo. Sijui JSS secondary schools walimu wanaitwaje? Walimu wa chekechea ama walimu wa msingi ya juu? Na hao walimu wako na haki kutetea haki yao kupata pesa ya kuweka katika permanent and pensionable. Si kama watu wengine karibu miaka 2-3. Na kulikuwa na barua ilikuwa imetolewa na Public Service Commission, ukifika miaka 60 lazima uhame uende nyumbani, unless kama wewe ni PWD ndio upewe exemption. Wale PWD ni 65 years. Lakini unajua labda hatuelewi disability yenye yako nayo. Unajua sasa hiyo ndio shida. Siwezi sema nimalizie, hakuwa na mambo mingi leo. It's straightforward. Si anaendelea, hakuwa amemaliza muda wake. So tunataka wakuwe na competent CEO kwa haraka ndio tupate hii reforms kwa TSC. And we must reform the TSC. Yes my brother. Yes. Nimefuatilia, ni vile tuko katika likizo fupi na leo ndio tuko na likizo fupi. Nafikiri tutaangalia, hata ukiona inafungamana na ile statement yangu baada ya hii ndawapea, lakini hiyo petition tunatarajia wiki ijayo wizara na TSC waweze kufika katika, kwa sababu hao wako na haki. Si kama wale wanataka 1 billion kwa ofisi zao. Hii pesa ambayo Uhuru anataka wapewe GSS. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki. Alihangaisha watu. Wacha hangaishwe. Asanteni sana, God bless you.